Hello and welcome back to Undercovers.
We are back yet again.
Every single week, twice a week for
Twice
you.
a week. Don't forget about us.
Well, today is going to be a bit of a sensitive topic, so pre-warning you before you listen or watch.
Yeah, we will be talking about domestic violence and sexual abuse. So if that is something you are not comfortable listening to, this is your warning. Please click out of this episode.
Yeah, if it's triggering, then I wouldn't advise watching it. But we want to discuss the hot topic that's kind of circulating social media at the moment, and that is the Diddy scandal. Because, you know, music, like Diddy was a great artist back in the day. You know, everybody loved him, and now it's come out more so recently that obviously there's been quite a lot of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and just things that's not really right. And we wanted to talk about it because I feel like it's very common these days for things like that to happen. And because it's in the music industry, does it potentially get, what's the word I'm looking for? Dismissed a little bit?
100%. But you know what? Like, I don't even think it's just the music industry that it gets dismissed in. I think it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like, everybody talks about it and tells people, oh, they should be coming forward. But like, how many times have you heard of like sexual harassment in workplaces and stuff, and they all get dismissed because it's men in power, right?
Yeah.
And that's not to say obviously all men or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But when it comes to situations like that, women a lot of the time don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't get pursued further. People don't not believe it, but it's like, well, what can they do about it, kind of thing.
Like, there's so many cases though, like you hear it all the time, don't you? Like,
yeah,
for example, if you report somebody for sexually abusing you and you go to court or whatever, you have to prove to court and prove to other people why this person did this to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
Literally.
But do you think it's because a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, I shouldn't have used that word, sorry. Because sometimes people do make things up because they do.
Yeah.
I got a statistic on that.
100%. And yeah, that could be it, but I don't think that's the reasoning behind it. I do think, like, we do live in a world, as much as women don't want to admit it, men still rule the world. Like, it's that simple. Like, yeah, equal rights and all of that, but at the end of the day, the man has the bigger power, right? And it's their word over yours, especially if you're like in male dominant environments and stuff like that. Like, yes, it's legally you're not supposed to be discriminating against genders and stuff, but it is what it is. Like, it's always been that way.
I mean, I got a statistic here about false reports. So over 50% of people believe false allegations are common, but in reality, false reports make up 2 to 8%.
Yeah, that's fuck all.
So it's very, very small in false reports. But it does still happen, right? Yeah. So is that potentially why people don't believe it or don't take it any further?
Yeah, for sure it could be. But like, when you look at it, do you have a statistic for how many actual cases there is?
I do. Well, 5 to 10% of sexual assault cases are ever reported.
Yeah.
So a very, very small amount of cases are obviously reported, but 1 in 3 women worldwide experience physical or sexual violence. 1 in 3. That is a third of the population. That is crazy high.
It is, and it's so fucking scary from that perspective, isn't it? And like, the statistic, right, 1 in 3 women, that's give or take 30% of the population, right, of women. 33%, whatever it works out as. And you said only up to 5%, 5 to 10% actually come forward. So that other 25%, nobody actually knows about, because like, I get it, girls or women are scared to talk about it because we see so many horror stories about nothing being done about it, and like, the damage has already been done. You have to live with that for the rest of your life.
100%. So you were talking about obviously harassment at work as well.
Yeah.
Do you know how high the statistics are for that?
70% or something.
1 in 2 women experience sexual assault at work, so 50%. So half of people, which is absolutely insane. You go to work. So like, with the Diddy scandal, obviously rumours existed for a long, long time before something actually got done about it. which is insane. But it's been 30 years of him sexually assaulting, grooming women for 30 years nearly. That's insane. How's nothing been done? Because it started in the 90s, right?
But that's the thing, though. Back, I feel like maybe it'd be different if it started now, but I feel like back then women really didn't have a say. Do you know what I mean? And like, obviously we're basing a lot of this off of the documentary, right? And like, you can see in the documentary that like there's over 100 cases that got reported and are currently being like processed or looked into.
That's a lot for one man. That is a lot.
It's fucking wild. And only one or two people, so like Cassie came forward and that other girl, so that's where they actually started diving into it. That's the thing. Like the other 100 only came forward after these allegations have been made, which is crazy. And I feel like for women in general, I feel like it's so important that you do report it. Like, even take yourself out of the picture, because a lot of people do say that. It's like, I want to do it to make sure that somebody else doesn't go through that situation. Like, you reporting it might be the kick that somebody else needs to be like, oh shit, I'm gonna speak about this too, if they've been through it, and fucking God forbid, like,
you do always see it more so like from when we see, there's been loads of documentaries like that, right, about Diddy and whatever, but there's like a couple of things they all have in common, and that's power. And it's always the men in success that have that. Why do you think that is? Is it because they have power, they have money? So obviously, why, if it was just a normal Tom, sorry if your name is Tom, I'm not accusing you of anything, but like a normal person with no power or anything, that case will probably get investigated. But because Diddy and other powerful men have money, they can make things go away.
Money is the biggest thing. 100%. And you know what I think is so funny with like women, men in power and success, how insecure they all are. Do you know what I mean? Because like, even for him, he needed to do all that to all those girls to make himself feel like the bigger man. Like, the fact that that's what you think success is pathetic,
I mean, 100% agree with that. With the industry though that he was in, for example, say, do you think it got kept down as well, because like at a low, because say all the sponsorships that he had, right, somebody within there, well, people said on the documentary they've seen him do things to Cassie, but nobody spoke, because it wouldn't only affect Diddy, it would affect them as like sponsors or people associated with him. So they didn't want it to just become this huge thing, which effectively it should have done.
And I think the thing with that as well is like, obviously he brings in a lot of money, right? And like you said, it affects everybody from that perspective. But I feel like a lot of people will let things slide and almost be like, oh, that's none of my business, I'm not getting involved with that, because they didn't physically, like, not physically see, but like physically do something to an extreme extent, like, oh, he slapped her, I'm sure it's a one-off. That sort of way. Like, people almost justify it in their own heads because they don't want to be involved or deal with it. And I understand that from a certain perspective, but there's a way to go around it to get to the girl to speak,
100%. I mean, I feel like people with power don't just have access to what they can do. I think they don't have the accountability for it either.
Yeah, for sure. Because nothing gets done about it, right?
Because they know whatever I do,
they don't suffer the consequences.
No, I'll just get an expensive lawyer. I will sort this out and everything will be okay.
But that is exactly what was going on until it reached to a point where he actually got done for stuff and things got found out, obviously.
But it's things like contracts, NDAs, etc. that people have to sign, right?
Yeah, exactly. And do you remember, like, even that girl on the documentary, she did report it initially. She reported at the time. And her question or her answer was like, I'm not helping you because I'm not going to get into his parties then. Or like, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah,
like,
that's wild.
Exactly. And
people care about themselves more than, things that are going on
yeah,
around
of course.
them.
And I feel like it's fine if you care about yourself more from that perspective, but like, that's reaching out to people like that are meant to make you feel safe as well. And this is why people don't report it, because like, even if you go to the police now, not everybody, but like certain cops will just be like, oh yeah, like we'll look into it, but what were you wearing? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's disgusting the way they go about the situation. So I do understand why people don't report it, because then they turn the embarrassment back on you, and you have to constantly relive that, and like they make you write out every fucking detail and all. It's disgusting.
Well, here's another stat for you. Less than 1% of reported sexual assault cases lead to a conviction. Less than 1%. So basically nobody gets done. Diddy did, because 50 Cent went in.
No, he got done obviously before that, but that they had to do something about him because there was over 100 cases.
Yeah, and it started to become it was starting to become a thing in the social media, right? But say just a normal Karen and normal Tom, something like, they're not known people, it just gets fully dismissed. And how are these women meant to live with that for the rest of their life, and in fear as well?
That's the thing, and like that's what I was gonna say to that. It's like the best they'll give you is a restraining order. But a restraining order means fucking nothing. Like, why should I be walking around in fear that he's going to approach me and then you might arrest him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been doing that in the first place, like.
And the question that people are always like, well, why didn't she leave? Well, multiple reasons. Well, first of all, fear being one of them. Not just of, nothing getting done about it, but her trying, him finding out, then it getting potentially worse. How many of these could potentially lead to murder as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that question of like when people see people in abusive relationships or whatever, it's always like, oh, like she's so stupid for not leaving, or like she's the one putting up with that. And yeah, obviously to a certain extent I understand that from that when you're looking from an outward or an outside perspective, but when you're in that situation, like, you have to realize that girl is being manipulated, she's being gaslit, she's being groomed. Like, it's not like, she's getting beat up and then he's just not saying sorry or beating her up again.
It's the
like,
push,
there's
pull.
a process with
it's the push pull. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I did that, I didn't mean to do that, and then it just goes back and forth. And grooming is so big. Like, even for young girls, like, I'm actually going to talk about this. When I was maybe 16, one of my neighbours at the time, his daughter was my friend and my dance teacher, and there was like a group of us that hung around together. I must have been maybe 14 at the time, the other girls were like 16, 18, whatever, and that dad was basically a paedophile. He would groom all the girls, like all his daughter's friends. One in particular would take her out and whatnot, and we never like thought up anything of it because we all literally lived door to door. But looking back now, it's actually fucking scary. Like, he did end up having sex with a 16-year-old, and she kept it quiet and all.
Yeah, that's scary. Like, that's absolute. And you know what? Like, I feel like the biggest thing that fucks with my head is like, it could be your dad, it could be your brother, it could be your uncle, it could be anybody.
Yeah, but on the other side of the spectrum, it could be your mum, it could be your sister.
Yeah, I know,
like,
but
it's wild.
The way I look at it, because you hear about these things and you're like, oh, that person's fucked in the head, but it never comes across in my head that it could be somebody you actually know.
Imagine it being like your family member.
Yeah, no, it's
wild.
Oh, that's giving me goosebumps. It's so scary though, isn't it? Like, especially if you're somebody that's growing up in that environment and stuff like that as well. And like, Diddy was going around having freaking kids with everybody as well.
Yeah.
Like, how many kids did he have?
I mean, he had a few to Kim, did he not?
Yeah, but he had one before that, and then...
Yeah, so I wonder if any of these women also got abused. And they just...
Yeah, of course.
Haven't come out in the sense that... I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to protect the kids.
But that's exactly what it is though, isn't it? Because like, they don't want to be looking at it from like, oh, like that's your dad, even though they know it. And like, I don't think abusers pick and choose who they're going to do it to. They're not going to treat one girl right. And then like, at the end of the day, he cheated on Kim.
Yeah.
Like, there was already a whole thing going on there. And it was said that she put up with it for so long, and she like blanked an eye essentially with what was going on with Cassie. But there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
She knew if she stood up to him, it wouldn't end very well for her. And it's the fear, it's the dependency that women have on that powerful man, because he's the provider. Again, like, we've discussed this in previous podcasts about females should have their own independence, because for reasons like that, so you can walk away. Like, it might not be easy, but at least you're not fully reliant on that man to start over if you do walk away,
Yeah, for sure. And I think even in situations like that, it's not even a fear of that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm sure like they could get set up for life, even coming from that perspective. But
Yeah.
I think it's more so because they know the consequences that could come with it. Like, especially with like a man that is so powerful and gets away with so much shit. Like, he killed his best mate,
Yeah.
apparently. Like,
He's honestly got no morals, no heart. Like, he's a robot. He's not a
but
human.
that's the thing. He was always looking out for himself, right? So for him, it was like, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that I'm
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary.
It's been a big thing, I guess. And I wonder if this will, this documentary being released, and is it going to make a difference to the world? Because we've had stuff like that come out in the past,
Yeah.
right? About, what was his, Ted Bundy or whatever, and all those.
Jeffrey Spain.
Yeah, all these men.
Bundy. I think he was like a serial killer in the 1800s or something.
Yeah.
I could be completely off with that as well. So we might both look really
But
stupid here.
anyway, there's been loads of documentaries about people like that. So, it's good that it's becoming a thing now where people are raising awareness around it and whatnot. But I do think there needs to be more done about it, and there just needs to be more from I was going to say the doctors. Why am I thinking the doctors?
The government.
From the government side, to believe people. And if we look at the stats, that it is
But
very
I don't
low.
even think it's that. It's not even about believing them. It's everything is corrupt, right? The government everywhere is corrupt.
Yeah.
Everything is about money.
Yeah.
So to them, it's like, he's bringing in this amount of money to us. Why would we care about what fucking Joanne down the road says?
Yeah.
Like,
They don't care. But that is just the world that we live in. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, from that aspect, nothing's going to change.
because there's no way he would have got away with that for so long. Do you know what I mean?
No.
If it wasn't the financial side, like, right, let's say he was involved with like the murders of Tupac and Biggie. Why was that not investigated deeper?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why was none of that actually looked into? It was all just like, to
brushed
this
under the
day,
carpet.
they said that they haven't found out why it happened.
Yeah, because they just got paid off, and there you go, and get on your way,
Exactly.
and let's forget about everything. And you keep making the money, you keep bringing money into the government. He was seen as this such big icon, this hip hop star that everybody was looking up to. Like,
But it's like everybody's like talking about the Illuminati circle. I don't know if that's still going about, but it's like that whole group of people, they're all involved in a much bigger thing. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's like coming down to sex trafficking, fucking kidnappings, everything else. Like, it's all linked, and there's so many people that are involved, and people just choose not to see it.
yeah, but isn't
Selling their soul to the
Beyonce?
devil and all.
Isn't Beyonce meant to be like one of the people involved in that?
Yeah, Beyonce, Rihanna was like a baby in
Yeah.
it. Like, she was born to be put into
Yeah.
that. Fucking The Weeknd is getting all of it now as well.
And look at Beyonce, for example. She's like one of the biggest.
It's influence though,
yeah,
right?
like, she's loved by people. She's just this amazing person. But I guess we will never know how much of it is true or how much isn't. But like,
Oh,
why
that's-
would these things be
There's
coming
so
out,
many
right?
conspiracy theories with everything as well, so it's hard to know. But there, I do believe that there's a reason that like people are speaking about these things, and it's like TikTok got banned for a while in the US, and
Yeah.
apparently it was linked to that, because you're not allowed to post about this on Google, on the news, or
Yeah.
nothing like that. So it's all being hidden. Whereas TikTok was owned by China, I'm pretty sure. I could be lying, but I know it was owned by a country that they were able to post all that without being banned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And that's how all the little
The
things
government's
started
always
getting
going to
out.
try control us, but this
Yeah.
is why I need to break the cycle, guys. We can't be following these rules because we're living by their lives, not by
We
our
cannot
own.
be controlled.
Yeah. Well, do you want to add anything else to it?
I would like to ask you a 3 a.m. thought.
Go on.
I just don't know what it is.
Oh, I haven't thought of one either.
What do you think the biggest reason is for women not reporting abuse?
Fear.
And do you think it's fear coming from that person that maybe did it to them? Or do you think it's fear of what other people are going to say? Or do you...
I think it's the fear of being embarrassed and ashamed and what people are going to think, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, the police, whoever you go to. It's the fear of them not believing. It's the disgust in it as well that people have, because that's how people feel, right? They feel embarrassed. So I think it's more so that rather than the partner, because, okay, these people have been scared the whole time. And then one time they decide to go and report it, right? So that fear goes of being scared of that person to a certain extent, but it's more so the belief around everything else.
Yeah, and I think you're right in saying they're like even the embarrassment or like people not believing you, and like if that truly did happen to you, you shouldn't have to be going explaining, convincing other people that it happened to
Yeah.
you. You know, like I feel like that would kill you even more from that perspective, because it does, like, it's a form of gaslighting, right? You're gonna start second guessing yourself. Oh, maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe I shouldn't have thought about it. Like, oh, but maybe I did do this that might have
Yeah.
provoked them. Like, no, you shouldn't be thinking of it like
No.
that at all. If you felt uncomfortable in any sort of way, and you know it wasn't consensual or whatever the case was, it was fucking wrong.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you.
Go on.
Why do we trust charm over character?
I wouldn't say we do.
We do, but that's what's involved in grooming, right? Like, it's the charm
See,
that the person has.
I don't think it's the charm. I really, really don't
do you
think
think it
that's
is?
what it is. I think it's that push and pull concept. So
Yeah, but
initially,
initially they lure you in with something,
yeah,
right?
well, right, I get you from that perspective. So what was the question?
Why do we choose charm over character?
Because it's like I always say, like, nobody's going to give you their true colors within the first couple of times you meet them, right? And like, especially with people like this, like narcissists or people like that, they know what they're doing. So you're not going to know their true colors until you're 2-3 months in, where it's just going to be pure charm. And by that stage, you will have caught feelings, or you will be invested in them or whatever. And then it's never going to come at once either. It's never going to flip overnight. You know, something's going to happen and then it's back to the charm. And then something's going to happen again. It's back to the charm. And then eventually it'll just be shit all the time. But you're too far gone. Like, you're already too invested because you've seen the nice side of them.
That's all they're giving you.
Yeah, which wasn't real. And you're like, oh, but at the start he treated me like this. Like, I can get that person back. Maybe it's my fault. And then you do. You start blaming yourself for
It's the
everything
false
that's going
perception.
on. Yeah.
The false perception that you get from them. Agreed. Well, look, let's wrap this up. For any women or men who are suffering in silence, please don't. Please, you could be the reason that, you know, you have a better life and somebody else doesn't go through what you're going through right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like speak to somebody. It's not even about going to people like the police or somebody that you might feel like you ignored. Speak to your friend if you trust them, because that alone will take you one step closer to essentially doing something bigger about it, you know. But keeping it to yourself will just make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Correct.
But yes, quite a serious one from us today, wasn't it?
But I think it needed to be said, and I hope it helps somebody out there. And we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.